What is a glow up? Well, according to the interwebs, a glow up is defined as an informal term that refers to a positive personal transformation, often involving a change in appearance, style, confidence, or maturity. It can also refer to a boost in self-esteem, improved self-care, or a positive shift in lifestyle. Now, when you see the word glow up, a lot of people automatically just think of like the physical part of glowing up, right? And I really do think first it started off that way. The term was basically about a transformation in physical appearance, and eventually that changed, and I think it became not just about your external appearance but your internal progression as well. I often think about my own glow up and I look back and I'm like, wow, I was a very different person a couple years ago than I am today. Like, very different. Brisa 10 years ago is not the same person that she is right now sitting down here in front of you. Like, it's just two completely fucking different people. And I can get into how I'm different, but I really want to talk mostly about how I got to where I am, because it wasn't something that happened overnight, right? And it usually never is. If we go 10 years back, when I was like a sophomore in high school, I was very timid and shy, and I had friends, but I was like, I don't think I was considered popular. Like, I hung around people of all walks, but I was definitely not like somebody that was the life of the party, so to speak. I kind of like blended into the background, which I didn't mind because I was someone who was incredibly shy. So if you didn't notice me, like, I felt good. Like, I felt good being unseen. Does that make sense? And I definitely looked like someone who wanted to disappear into the background, if you catch my drift. I was so dorky and I looked nerdy. Like, I had braces, I had glasses back then. And what's funny is that I loved fashion, but I definitely did not have the confidence that I do now to be bold in it. So I was a nerdy teenager, and I very much dressed up like a nerdy teenager, I think. I mean, I had some cute days, don't get me wrong, like, it wasn't a complete mess, but for the most part, I kept it toned down. Brisa now is like, you're gonna look at me, like, I want to be seen, you know? Like, it's just two different people. Even the way that I think and the way I walk into a room now is completely different. I had to really grow into, and I think it's like natural with age, right? But I really grew into becoming a woman, you know? And I really don't know when that happened. I think it was something that kind of came really organically, because I didn't ever try to like be more grown than I actually was or felt. I really let time season me, so to speak. When I was younger, I definitely felt a lot older than most, in the sense of like the way that I thought, the way that I viewed the world. I feel like I viewed the world so much more seriously. And I was honestly kind of like a little bit like, no shade, no tea, like, I was a little bit judgmental of like people that were my age, because I'd see them doing things and I'd be like babe, that's not smart. Like, why are you doing all that? And now, while I still can be a little bit judgy, I'm a lot more self-aware of it, and I'm a lot more gracious, I think, and understanding. But that also comes with life. So I think my understanding in the world has definitely shifted a lot too. I don't really have, not that I was like stuck up when I was young, but there is definitely a more grace to me than there was before. I was like really clumsy and just all over the place and a little bit chaotic and frazzled. And now I can like contain myself a lot more. I can be elegant now. I can be classy. And like I said, all of this came with time. It was not something that I could force myself to be. I just had to let it come to me. And still now, I think that I have a lot more growing to do and a lot more glowing up to do And I'm so very excited to see how much more glowing up I'm gonna do. But for those of us who want to understand the intricacies of glowing up and what it really takes, I can tell you what it took for me. And I will focus a little bit on the internal first. Naturally, I've always been very self-aware, and my self-awareness caused me to hyperfixate on how I appeared to the outside world around me at all times from when I was young. Now, I really think some people don't have this, and I'm kind of jealous of those people that don't have it, because this can be a curse as much as it is a blessing. But I was so self-conscious of how everyone saw me in a way that was a little bit detrimental, because I was never a risk taker. But because I was never a risk taker, I got into a lot less trouble. I never let myself get into situations that embarrassed me or caused me to feel like humiliation or just like emotions that weren't really nice to feel. I was very protective of my energy and my space, overly so, but protective nonetheless. And when you're young, your reputation feels like everything, right? It feels like life or death. How people see you is so important to you. So because of that, and because of my hyper awareness, in an odd way, it was something that really kept me humbled, because I would always be so hard on myself, and I constantly would bring myself down a peg, right? I never ever allowed myself to be overly confident. Even though I thought I was smarter than most people, I never let myself get too comfortable or too self-assured, because I knew anything could happen to me, anything could go wrong. I had to be very careful with every action I took. I'm gonna go into how this helped me evolve into the person that I am right now. This hyper awareness of self, I still have it till this day. I'm still so overly careful of everything I do and extremely aware of how I appear to others in the outside world, but in a way that makes me not manipulative, but I can kind of control the narrative, so to speak. Do you get what I'm saying? So if I want to be seen a certain way, like playing chess, I'll make certain moves so that I come across to people that way. And this hyper awareness of myself also allows me to become hyper aware of other people if I want to be. And what that means is basically I'm so good at studying myself that it's almost easy for me to do it to others around me. And this is all something that allows me to feel more confident in situations, because if I can read people, I have a one-up on them. And I can appear very charismatic and outgoing, even if I don't necessarily feel like those things, if I need to be, because I'm so good at studying my environments and the people in it. I can anticipate their wants and their needs. And when I was younger, this is not something that I knew how to use, but now the traits that kind of hindered me as a child have now become lethal as an adult. The other thing I would say that has really helped me in my internal transformation is being such a big dreamer. Now, that is one thing that I have always had from since I was little that has stayed with me. I've always been a big dreamer, and I'm gonna get into why this has shaped my glow up. Big dreamers are people that have the highest standards. They are people that have visions that they believe they can one day bring to life. I honestly think big dreamers are some of the most dangerous people of all, because they can be delusional, but when you think about it, sometimes delusional can almost cause manifestation. So in a weird way, I do feel like my big dreams have caused me to be highly ambitious, and it has kind of given me tunnel vision, where when I want something, it's all I can focus on, and I think about how do I mold myself into someone who can become capable of getting those things. So, for example, I had this vision of myself as a kid for the type of person that I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to be somebody that was very smart, that was very intelligent and intimidating, and had a killer presence. Now, I'm not saying that I am all those things right now, But I think that me having this idealistic vision of myself has pushed me into that direction a little bit more. And my big dreams have caused me to obsess over my future so much. Like I said, that tunnel vision, when it's all you can focus on, it becomes your identity. It's all you want. So you go after it as hard as you possibly can. And I think that's something that a lot of people lose over time from when they're little, but I never lost it. My dreams are still the same from when I was a child. I never became comfortable with what I have. I still want more for myself, and at this point I know I'm forever and ever going to want more. So no matter what happens, I'm never going to stop trying to attain it. It's almost like your big dreams give you resilience if you want it bad enough. And I think that hunger for more has kind of made me strong, and it's made me overly ambitious, but in the best way possible. Now, for the physical transformation, and this is probably the part that everybody's waiting for, and I get it, but the internal transformation plays into the physical, because the physical is nothing without the internal. You can wear the clothes and look different, but still be that same person that you were. And if you have not evolved for the better, it means nothing. It's an illusion of a glow up. It's all a facade. And that's what you don't want. You want to actually have glowed up. You don't want to fake it, babes. So make sure that you have that confidence, that internal confidence first. Now, you become confidence here first. Your mindset has to be different. Your ideologies and your philosophies, all of those things have to be strong. There is nothing worse than a girl that is still insecure, even though she's had a physical glow up. It's such a turnoff. That is what you don't want. And people can smell it a mile away. It's like, it's the worst. You don't want to be a phony. If you want to really embody the parts, and I mean the girl that people look at and they're like, whoa, how is that really her? You have to have the confidence to be her. You have to become unmovable, unshakable. Now, the clothes, of course, play a big part into it, but you want to make sure that the way you dress up matches your essence. You want to make sure that your style is distinct. Make it your own. Do not copy high fashion. Do not copy trends. Make sure that when you walk into a room, people look at you and they're like, oh yeah, that's her. One of the biggest ways you can stand out is through what you wear, makeup, everything here. Make sure that it all is specific to you. And if you look through my Instagram, you can kind of see what I mean. My style is a very distinct type of style, but I didn't always have the confidence to dress like that. I know in high school, I would have seen that and been like, oh my God, who is she? Because that is not me. But now I step out and I'm like, hi, I'm Brisa. Right? And it feels like it's me. That's recognizable, okay? And that's what you want. You want to be recognizable in rooms, even if people have only met you once. You want to be unforgettable girl. And how you become the unforgettable girl? Well, she has to walk the part as much as she talks it. You want to make sure that when you do dress up, that you hold your head high, even if you feel uncomfortable. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be uncomfortable to dress nice. It will be. Wearing heels, girl, nobody likes wearing heels, but we do it anyway. Why? Because it makes us look sleek as fuck, okay? I'm sorry. Some things you just have to swallow, babe. Styling our hair, doing our makeup, all that stuff, it takes time, it takes energy. Sometimes you just don't want to do it, but it's important that you do it sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes, depending on where you're going, because these things, if you do it right, combined with your personality, it makes you unforgettable, and that is a power, okay? Making an impression is your superpower, and people won't be able to get you out of their head, okay? People want to be around the girl that dresses well. They want to be around the girl that looks nice. People are attracted to things that are pretty. Whether it be a diamond, a shiny necklace, a cute dress, a pretty girl. People just want to be surrounded by pretty shit, okay? So make yourself pretty. Now, I'm not saying this should be your goal every single time you go out in public, but at the right times, to meet the right opportunities, you have to make it work, okay? You have to make it happen. And then people will start to gravitate towards you. And you'll find yourself being in rooms that you didn't think you could ever be in. Why? Because you had this internal and external glow up. And if you're somebody who feels like you cannot move a room, I want you to start off with the mental first. I want you to do your best to read a lot of books, because that's what really helps me. Like I said, I was very nerdy. So I was an avid reader, but if I didn't have that, if I wasn't well read, I didn't know how to be like eloquent. I don't think I would have been as confident. I didn't think I would know how to talk to people. It's so important to be a good reader. Nowadays, everybody's just scrolling on the TikTok app. They're looking at 30-second videos. None of it is feeding your brain. We're listening to podcasts. We're watching Love Islands. Like it's a different culture now. We're so easily influenced. We don't know how to be as objective as we once were. And it's causing us to be fueled by our emotions. Sometimes we need to take a step back and breathe and really see reality for what it is. Like I said, that hyper awareness of your surroundings, yourself, and the people around you is so important. You cannot be the most powerful person in the room if you don't even know what's going on and what the people around you are feeling and thus probably thinking, right? Even if you don't naturally have empathic tendencies, you need to find a way to have it a little bit more, because that's the one thing. Being a good reader, both in literacy and in humans, it's gonna make you into someone that is so intelligent, okay? I promise you. And if you don't want to read books, then watch psychology courses. Like, there's so much resources nowadays. Everything is at the tip of your fingers. It is possible to get there, but you need to put in the work. You need to commit yourself. So say, I'm gonna read 2 books a month, so start off small. And eventually you'll feel yourself becoming more knowledgeable. And with knowledge, you become more confident, because then you know what you're talking about. You know how to work a room. Now, the social skills is just something that you have to master. That's probably the hardest part. The fashion girl, the looks, the appearance, that's the easy part of the glow up, okay? It's the mental part that people don't like. And I get it, because it's so hard. And it's not something that you can see. It's just something that you feel happening. And I promise you, in the end, girl, it's going to be so worth it. People ask me all the time, like my friends that really know me and like saw me grow up, they're like, yeah, you're like completely different from how, you were before. I'm like, we're all different. But I think with me, it's a little bit more noticeable, because like I said, I was an extremely timid child, and now I'm very outspoken. Like, if I have an opinion, I'm going to say it out loud, and I will say it with confidence. And I didn't used to be like that when I was younger. If I feel disrespected or slighted in a way, now I will I'll let you know. When I was young, I did not like confrontation, girl. I used to like hide from confrontation, okay? Now I'm like, y'all all can get it. Like, I don't care anymore. It definitely does change your entire essence, but I promise you it works. And I think I want to do another video about this, because there's so much more that goes into it beyond what I just said. So I think that's going to be everything for now, because I'm kind of tired. But if you enjoyed this video, let me know, leave a like, and if you fall in love with me, you can subscribe. Otherwise, y'all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.